I'm talking about chingonas again. Let's bring another chingona to the stage. Lynne Jordan.
Yes, thank you.
Just tell me where
Well, I'll figure it out.
you need this.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you. Just a couple more moments. Ooh, this seat is high. Since I don't have paper, I have technology. There you go. So this will be all fucked up. Oops, sorry. I'm a vulgarian, please excuse me. Yeah, favorite. Yeah, I thought I came up one more, so I'm not together here, so, you know. But, okay. Lord have mercy. Okay. Can you hear me? Ooh, it sounds so much better when I talk on the mic instead of around the mic. I remember the news reports saying the war was coming. And every day as it drew closer, I prayed that it wouldn't happen. Surely Putin wouldn't be so bold again. Years ago, I had performed at a benefit after he took Crimea, so I knew it was in his nature. Plus that whole picture with him bare-chested on the horse, I knew he was a fool then. What head of state you see running around looking like that? Asshole. I had friends and great memories of Ukraine. My favorite memory of working abroad, I'm a singer, was in Ukraine with my band. And I had friends that I maintained from that time, 20 years ago, mostly artists and musicians, living great lives. I watched their videos, we corresponded, social media, we were in touch. And then February 24th begins, and I'm glued to the reports. Dimi, a classical pianist who turned to jazz, Svetlana, Ivan, Katya, John, Sophie, also a classical pianist, who had just purchased a beautiful Steinway for her 40th birthday. She told me the stories of them hoisting up the piano to her apartment. Olga had just gotten married, and Ola, who I had met at that benefit for the soldiers fighting in Crimea, that was 8 years ago. We remained friends, of course. It was early evening, and I tried texting and calling some of them, but no answer. Anyway, what do you say when someone's under siege from the Russian army? You're in my thoughts and prayers. How are you? Are you alive? But I couldn't get an answer from anyone on the phone, so I started messaging them one by one on Facebook, and they all responded. And I wrote back and forth to them for 24 hours straight. Dimi was in Kiev in his apartment. He sent me a video of a building that had been blown up and was still smoldering. It was just a mile from his place. Sophie was terrified. Her family lived in the West, far away, and she was alone. There was a basement in her high-rise apartment, and she immediately went down there. Later, she could hear the bombs and see the flames from the building nearby and made the decision to flee her home with one bag and one backpack. 40 years of living, a beautiful apartment, and her beloved piano left behind. She told me the last thing that she did before she fled her apartment was lock all the bolts. And then she realized, The Russians could just blow the whole side of the building off. What the hell am I doing? Locking the door. Then she made it to a shelter. It was dark, she said, and smelly. And in those dark times, the space was illuminated only by the screens of cell phones and laptops. And for many weeks, she would venture out of the shelter and stare at her suitcase that she left behind on the road because it was too cumbersome to drag it over the rubble. But she was too frightened to go get it because it was right in the open in a park, next to a park. So she watched it, pristine condition, everything blown up, and there was her suitcase, reminding her of a life. But she said as time went on, she didn't even care. She couldn't even remember what she had packed in it. Demi's family decided to stay because they couldn't get their grandmother to leave. The lifts were out, of course, and she couldn't do the stairs, and driving out of the city at this point was extremely dangerous. They couldn't leave her. She begged them, go, 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 but they decided as a family to stay with her and hope for the best. They're still alive. My friend Olha was in bed when the bombing started, and her husband made her get up and leave immediately. Just she and her son and what they could carry in one suitcase. February 24th, I wrote to her, I'm praying for you. How are you coping? Terrible, Lynne. My son and I are trying to save our lives in the west of Ukraine. We've been driving 24 hours, a distance that usually takes 3 hours. We just arrived. My relatives invited us and my husband's sister's family, but Russians are bombing everywhere in Ukraine, so I don't know if there'll be a tomorrow for us. My husband stayed in Kyiv. He's determined to help the army. February 25th. Hey, are you okay? I didn't want to say, are you still alive, but are you okay? My son and I are still moving to the west, hoping to escape from the country. My husband joined the forces of territory defense, and the last thing I heard from his parents was that there's going to be an attack from air again, but they can't go to the shelter because my father-in-law is sick. So they are just lying on the floor next to the thickest wall, hoping it can save them. Some explosions were right next to my son's school. It's 10 minutes walking distance from my home. I feel ashamed to be running away. It's killing me inside. I feel I have betrayed my people. But the thought of my only son and his future, or even a possibility of his future, is stronger than this shame I'm taking to protect him. My husband has been in line to get accepted to the local defense department for half a day. He's saying there are young and old people, healthy and ill. There was even a man on crutches. I'm so proud of my nation. And I never knew I could hate those fucking Russians so much. I curse them with every breath. And I don't know if I have ever loved my husband more. I also don't know if I'll ever see him again. February 26th, she writes, right now, we're in the bus transporting women and children only to the Polish border. An hour ago, we were informed that Russian troops are already here, so we thought we're trapped and these were our last hours. But later, the mayor of this town said this information was false. So there's still a chance. She's still alive. One of the last things she emailed to me before she arrived in Chicago was that the outpouring of support and outrage from the world really, really helped. So don't forget about Ukraine. They're still fighting and they're still dying. My friend said to me, if we're lucky enough to escape and get to the U.S., we should meet and talk and maybe sing together again. Please welcome Olha Zvintarna. We're singing together. I think we need another microphone. And please welcome my keyboardist, Raymond Glower, who I've been playing with since 1997 or so. I didn't tell her until I was like, oh, I'm reading those messages you sent. Children dying, babies crying all across our land. What on earth is going on? Please help me understand.
Pray for us before we're gone, but if I die, please carry on. The siege's on the way, so please send help today.
We sing for Ukraine, all together, one forever. We sing for Ukraine, raise your voices, never let up. From Kharkiv to Lviv, Kyiv to Odessa, we will sing for Ukraine. We will sing for Ukraine.
Fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, we never wanted war. We are under attack, but we fighting back. It shakes us to our core.
Bombs drop from the sky as thousands die, and why? Little girls and boys, generations destroyed. We sing for Ukraine, all together, one forever. We sing for Ukraine, raise your voices, never let up. From Kharkiv to Lviv, Kyiv to Odessa, we will sing for Ukraine. We will sing for Ukraine. We sing, we sing, we 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 sing for Ukraine. Ooh. We sing for Ukraine, all together, one forever. We sing for Ukraine, raise your voices, never let up. From Kharkiv to Lviv, Kyiv to Odessa, we will sing for Ukraine. We will sing for Ukraine. We will sing for Ukraine.
Ukraine. Thank you.
Are you going to do your song?
Yeah. When I came to Chicago, the 1st of March, Lynne texted me again, and we met and we agreed to participate in a charity event. This song was written for charity. The website is WeSingForUkraine.com, and this was the first opportunity where we could raise money to help Ukrainian people. And I also wrote a song about my feelings as an immigrant who never wanted to be immigrant, but still. And this is the song. I used to live in occupation where people wanted to be free. They lied to us, destroyed our nation. They couldn't stand that we could see. Dictatorship is not another word you learned from books. I know its face and how it feels and how it looks. A helpless cry, a mother who has lost her child. But don't forget your children standing in a line to be the next to die. If there's a God, I wanna ask him why. Why do you leave me on this earth? Why do I get to live when children die? God, it's not a blessing, it's a curse. I used to dream about my future, but now I dream about my past. A happy life, some problems, some solutions. I didn't know it wouldn't last. The world is blind or chooses to be so. What's on your mind, or do you even have a soul? Ignoring crimes, oh yes, for now you can survive. But don't forget your children standing in a line to be the next to die. If there's a God, I wanna ask him why. Why do you leave me on this earth? Why do I get to live when children die? God, it's not a blessing, it's a curse. If there's a God, I wanna ask him why. Why do you leave me on this earth? Why do I get to live and watch the children die? God, it's not a blessing, it's a curse. Thank you. And I thank the American people to support Ukraine. Thank you so much.